This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, here on August 11th, 2011. And folks, I have a wonderful guest on here today, and I miss Toronto tremendously, and my guest is reminding me how much I miss Toronto. I have the wonderfully awesome zombie walk woman herself, Thea Munster. How do you do, Thea?
I'm good. Thank you, Greg, for that lovely introduction, or I should say deadly introduction.
You know what? Before we get into films and whatnot, I want to get a bit of your background, and don't mind me because I just have to plug my phone in over there because I forgot to do it. But keep talking because even without my headset, I can hear you. So just give me a little bit of a background here.
Well, I'm quite well known in the horror community. I started the first zombie walk in 2003, and it was the first one of its kind, and it kind of spread. And then it went to Vancouver, and then it started in the States, and I started with 12 people, and then it became a festival. So it was about 10 to 12,000 people by the end of it, and it went for 13 years, and it was good times, and that's usually what I'm known for, but I do a few other things. So that's kind of a brief history of me. I'm a super horror nerd, so I get around the horror scene.
Yeah, I've heard that. You know what's funny? The zombie walk thing I mentioned in conjunction with you, and it's funny. I've done 2 zombie walks here in Fredericton.
Oh yeah, I heard there's one out there. There
was. Yeah. Well, I have done one in probably 10 years. I did a couple of them. I used to have friends that are not here anymore, moved elsewhere, and they used to do them because they were into the whole goth thing and whatnot. And they invited me to one, and I went around. I did not dress up, but I took lots of pictures, and
yeah,
people dressed like they were falling apart. Boy, there's a lot of people that looked and looked at everybody in the zombie walk, you know. Yeah, talk about first doing a zombie walk. I'm sure you have a nice connection. Well, had a nice connection with Jojo Romero.
I did, actually. It was amazing. When he moved to Toronto and he got his Canadian citizenship, we did a special Jojo Romero zombie walk for him. So it was like at TIFF, Toronto International Film Fest, and we got hundreds of zombies to line the streets, and we did a special zombie walk for him, and at the end we gave him a little award, I guess it would be, and it was like a severed hand holding the CN Tower, and then they played Night of the Living Dead, and it was just a whole bunch of zombies in the middle of Dundas Square in the middle of Toronto. Super fun, and he was always supportive of the zombie walk and everything we did, and it was always cool. And I got to be in Survival of the Dead as a zombie, which is not on IMDb, but I am there. You can catch it.
Why isn't it on IMDb?
What?
Why isn't it on IMDb?
I have no idea, because I think it was like there's levels of extras. So you're either you're like an extra. There's the extras that are credited, so they're actual official extras, and then he just got a few fans to be more extra zombies. So I don't think we got credited on that. But I was like, you can really see me. I have bright orange hair, and they put me in this like nurse kind of outfit, but it was like well, no, it wasn't a nurse. Sorry, it was a waitress, and it was like all grody, and it was definitely a uniform. So I really stand out. Like, you can definitely get me. I'm just on the harbor there. So that's always fun. I was like, yeah, I was a zombie.
An orange-haired zombie.
Yeah, just look for the orange-haired zombie. That's me.
There you go. I actually have not seen Survival of the Dead, so,
Oh,
but
it's fun.
yeah, absolutely. I never had George Romero on the show, but I have had his widow Suzanne on here, who I met at Horror-rama 2017 when she was there with her little George A dolls.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. I like
Hmm.
her.
And I had
Yeah.
Judith O'Dea on, who played Barbara from Night of the Living Dead. That was pretty funny. That was fun. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and Ken Foree is supposed to be at Frightmare in the Falls this year.
I
Uh,
saw that. Let's
yeah,
hope. Yeah.
yeah. Well, they're announcing. They've got 8 guests announced for Frightmare, and
Mhm.
I've never done a Frightmare in the Falls before. Lisa Langlois suggested it to me.
Right.
And I've told the story before, but I'm going to tell it again because you're in Toronto. I'm 49 years old, never been outside New Brunswick other than maybe Prince Edward Island in my
Mhm.
whole life. I started reviewing movies in 1996, and I
Right.
got affiliated with CHSR on UNB campus in 2005. And for 10 years, I was their film critic. In 2015, I fell into the podcast once after ending up with an interview with Tommy Wiseau from The Room. And it was like from there, it's like, who else can I do this with? And I've been off and running ever since.
That's
So,
cool.
oh, yeah. It's kind of surreal for me. Because now I'm a co-producer on 13 Fanboy, which I don't know if you've heard of that film, but
Or maybe I saw it on your site actually.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But first, I had Lisa Langlois from Class of 1984 on my show twice. And on the second time, this was in 2017, we get talking about travel. And she asked what was stopping me. And like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, she made me an offer I could not refuse. She offered me the opportunity to assist her at Horror-rama 2017 at
Oh,
I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no to that.
no, of course not.
Yeah. So it was my first time on a plane. I'm the only one in my family who's ever been on
Wow.
a plane. And I took Porter Airlines and I really like Porter.
Porter's cool for
Yeah.
sure.
And I was nervous about it until we took off, because my folks are not well, but I like that first year they took me to the airport because I could leave my car at their place.
Hmm.
And my younger brother's taken me ever since. But it's kind of nice that, I got on the plane and I took gravel, but I don't think I needed it. I don't think I needed it. I mean, because,
I've had
yeah,
some warm travel experiences for sure.
well, once we got taken off, it was like a bus in the sky. And once they
Yeah,
started breaking out the food, I was kind of like all in.
yeah, totally. I love flying. It's fun.
I kind of enjoyed Porter a lot. And we stopped in Ottawa and went from Ottawa, landed in Billy Bishop Airport there in Toronto Island. And I didn't take the ferry across. I took the tunnel, and it's the first time since the 80s I've seen escalators because we haven't had them here since the mid
Oh,
80s.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
That
they
must have been
they
quite the
dis
experience.
yeah they disappeared with the drive-ins here in the mid to late 80s. But so I took the escalator, and I forgot how relaxingly lazy that is. I got to the top, and I was connected with Lisa, and I called her to find out what I'm supposed to do. And she had instructed me to get on the shuttle bus, which would take me to Union Station. So I did that, and Lisa met me at Union Station, and it was interesting after knowing who she was since the '80s because I loved her as Patsy
Yeah,
in Class of
that's cool,
1984.
right? Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
well, she called me last Saturday. She and I are still in touch. And yeah, so anyway, she called me Saturday and wanted to see if she's going to be around Toronto because I like to see her when I go to Toronto and I save up all my Scene Point free movies. I've got over 20 of them right now.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I always save them for Lisa. I always say, pick some movies and we'll have some movie nights.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. So Lisa and I remain friends, and I'm going to see, knock on wood, if I can get her at Frightmare in the Falls, because I'm supposed to have somebody from Frightmare come on here next week. So I'm hoping to make that work. So, because I'd love to do another con with her.
Yeah, it would be cool. I really hope it goes through and it happens.
Yeah. So, well, it seems to, because they're still announcing people.
Yeah.
Yep. They just announced Lisa Loring, aka Wednesday Adams,
Oh, wow.
the night before night last. So
Oh,
they're
I think
still.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that. So,
So I think it's going to happen,
okay.
and I just hope I don't have to. Like, I'll bring masks, but I don't want my picture taken with people with a mask on.
I know. What's the point in that?
You
Yeah.
know,
You'll
and I
probably be able to take it off for the picture and then put it back on or
and I
whatever.
want to be able to too. Like, I'm one of these people like. I know Lynn Laurie's a hugger, and you want to be able to touch the person, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Although I know Sandy Johnson, who I've had on here a couple times, has a special thing she does for the pandemic where she puts the Myers headstone in between. And I think that works kind of cool. That's kind of her way of kind of still making it special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's her way of kind of countering the pandemic end of it, making it special. But,
Right.
but yeah, but nonetheless, I'm gonna make this my first Frightmare in the Falls.
Cool. Well, I hope to meet you there. So
Yeah,
see what
and
happens.
yeah, and I've done 3 Horror-ramas, 2017, 18, and 19. So
That's
and it's
awesome.
yeah. Have you? How many Horror-ramas have you done?
Probably just two. I didn't do the first year, but I did
Okay.
supply some zombies for the coat room because I think what happened was it was like the day after the zombie walk or something like
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And I
Yeah.
was just so exhausted that I sent zombies instead. And then when the zombie walk ended, I was actually officially able to get out and enjoy again. Like I was found my October so crazy. And then oh, it moved. Didn't it move? Then it
Mm-hmm.
moved to November. And then I was like, yeah, this is good for me. I want Halloween to continue into November all the time. Like,
Well, they were supposed to have it the 2nd and 3rd of October this year, and it get canceled again. Um, so I'm kind of down about that. But Lisa Langwa suggested Frightmare in the Falls because she's helped me kind of improve my brand, like get business cards done up and all this stuff. And
right.
so I was like, I've done 3 Horror-ramas, 17, 18, 19, and I've done. So I was there every year. They were at the new location,
Right.
and I've done one Toronto Comic Con, which
Yeah.
was
I've done
fun, huh?
a lot of those.
That one, it was fun, but the difference between Comic Con and Horror-rama is I find that the lines are way too long at Comic Con. Like I was in a lineup for Ron Perlman for 90 minutes, and I'm kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. And then you have to pre-buy. Well, that's so where I met like when Rumorg had part of it. I met like Dario Argento and stuff. Like it was big.
You met Dario Argento?
Yeah, I got something signed. Mind you, I was dressed as a zombie, and I swear to God, he just looked at me like he was so weirded out that somebody would come dressed to a con as I don't know, but or maybe like I don't know. He was just like,
you know what? I have a little story here because in 2020, I was one of the last, if not the last, to interview Daria Nicolodi before she passed. Yep. I had her on my show in February 2020, and she passed towards the end of the year. And I'm so glad I got her when I did, because she turned me down back in 2016 when I reached out to her, because she kind of got tired of talking about all the Argento movies all the time.
I can understand. Yeah, right. Okay.
And I don't know what their breakup was like, you know. So, but I met Lamberto Bava and a bunch of the Demons people at Horror-rama 2019. And so last year, Deep Red was celebrating its 45th anniversary. So I thought I would pitch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this was her quote: "This interview will probably not happen." That was her quote. But I indulged her. I told her about meeting Lamberto. And blah, blah, blah. She got back to me and she said she'd do the interview in two conditions. One, she really wanted to talk about how much she loved Mario Bava because she was in his last movie.
Okay.
Well, shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also
love Bava.
And she did one with Lamberto. And the other condition was she wanted to talk about Asia Argento, her daughter.
Right.
So I said, sure. Absolutely. I'll go with that. And we still did talk about some Argento. I kept it brief, but I definitely wanted to talk about her little cigarette twirl in Deep Red, you know, and some stuff with Suspiria and working with a young Jennifer Connelly and Creepers, you know. So
that's one of my favorite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and by the end of it, she was very apologetic to me, but she said she really enjoyed doing the interview, and I was so glad I got her, and so sad that she had passed, you know.
Yeah, that is sad. I'm glad that you there's people like you preserving the memories though, because a lot of these people didn't get enough credit in their day, I find, and their resurgence, and they're getting renowned now again, like for a second wave of horror, and like so it's good that we have these stories on camera.
Well, I didn't get her on camera, but because I didn't. Here's the thing: I did until this year. I did all my interviews by phone at the station, and they're all recorded and whatnot. But we went into lockdown, and my last interview was March 18th, 2020. Then we went into lockdown, and I had like 30 people waiting for me, and I had no idea what to do. Now, I always put up 5 interviews a month up on YouTube.
Right. You do a lot. Yeah. For sure.
Well, I had somebody comment and said, have you done anything more recent than 2019? Yeah, but they're all unlisted right now. And I'll tell you why I do that. My former station manager had told me before she retired, don't put everything up at once. Save some for a rainy day. And I've seen YouTubers who do the same thing as I do, and they'll get to this point where they're struggling to find interviews and update their site because they keep putting them up. Well, turns out my rainy day was COVID, because when lockdown hit, I had over 150 interviews that I could put up on YouTube.
Wow.
And I put 5 up a month. And my brother takes care of the tech side of that. And I'm supposed to put my next one up tomorrow, but I don't know. It depends on whether my brothers get them ready. If he doesn't, I think I've got a backup plan of what I might do about that. But with him, with my folks and his schedule, I gotta be lenient there, but nonetheless, anyway, it wasn't until late last year, Nancy McLaughlin of Jason Lives had said to me, she's another one I'm in touch with. She said if she can do if she can do Zoom, I can do Zoom. So I got hooked up to Zoom, and you're number 81 this year. So I've been off and running.
81. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was so happy the other day. I got one of my bucket list interviews that I supposed to have on before the lockdown. The lockdown prevented it. I had Nancy Allen on from Dress to Kill, and was so happy to get her when I did, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you mentioned we're talking about Daria Nicolodi, and one of the things I find hard, and I've talked to Sean Clark about this, who handles a lot of clientele. We talked about people passing away. And Daria Nicolodi passed away. I interviewed Dick Miller 5 months before he passed.
Yeah.
One of the hardest was Jessica Campbell from the movie Election. I interviewed her just over a year before she passed. She was only 38. So that was a hard one.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, but I was so happy to get her because in Election, she steals the movie.
Right.
And Peter Mark Richmond from Jason Takes Manhattan, he's gone, and he's the best part of that movie to me. But I had him on twice. Movie. He played the professor.
Yeah, okay.
And I had him on.
It's one of my favorite ones of the series. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
we're different on that one, but I got to admit.
Oh, I know.
Peter Mark
I have unusual taste.
Well, Peter Mark Richmond to me is the best part of the movie because when he's on screen, you're taken out of the slasher part of it, you know. Like I like little moments with him and Charlene Martin, you know, where she's trying to seduce him and this and that. Little things like that just kind of sideline and don't distract from the plot, but they kind of add to it. So I was lucky to get him on twice before he passed. Not on Zoom, but I did get him. They're both up on my YouTube. And David L. Lander is another one we lost who played Squiggy and Laverne and Shirley. So
oh wow, you did him? That's cool.
I did get him. So I don't know who else we had lost, but that I've interviewed. I'm sure there are others, but
wow.
But I always feel blessed when knowing I had the interview.
Oh.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, I did 3 of the Horror-ramas, 1 Comic-Con. But as I was saying with Comic-Con, here's another of the big differences. And this is not a slight against any of the guests. You know, nobody, yeah. I've never had a rude experience with a guest yet at any of these conventions, knock on wood. But I noticed with Comic-Con, there was only 2 of the guests that came off as, it was more than just, and I don't know if this is a harsh thing to say, but more engaging than most.
Yeah.
You can always tell who seems to be more business oriented and who seems to be really enjoying it.
It's true. But it's those special moments like I've had over time. So every year there has been at Festival of Fear, there was like one moment, right? Like, because for me, it was like when I got to meet Barbara Steele, like that was huge for me. She's like one of my icons, and she was so nice, and she spent the time talking to you and so kind. And of course, Romero was always like, when he did a convention, he was always, the lineup was so long, not because it was just long, it was because he would spend so much time with every single person, which, you know, it's amazing when they do that. So.
Well, the two at Comic-Con that stood out to me, one was John Rhys Davies of Raiders of the Lost Ark. He would always ask everybody what they did for a living, you know, and
Yeah.
but one thing that stood out when we got our picture taken together, he had his arm around me. He went like that into my side to make me laugh. I
That's
think he did that with everybody, and he was quite a character to meet. And the other one was Corbin Burson. He was a lot of fun to meet of Major League. In fact, I think his handler was showing him how to do selfies because I remember him saying, "Man, I'm getting the hang of this."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they were fun. Nobody was rude, but those two in particular stood out to me. You know, they were quite cool. But with Horror-rama, I think everybody was pretty cool, pretty
Yeah.
engaging.
Horror-rama was always like a good crowd, and everyone that went was awesome and friendly and cool. So.
Well, I remember my first time going with Lisa there, and I did a little walk around, and I was wearing a Clockwork Orange T-shirt. And this woman dressed as a demented clown come up to me and she goes, "Hey, I like your T-shirt." And I said, "Thanks." And she unrolled her sleeve and she had a Clockwork Orange tattooed, the poster tattooed on her arm. And it
Awesome.
was just kind of cool that she come up and said that to me, you know, and
Yeah.
everybody there, nobody felt threatened. Everybody was just
Yeah.
engaged with each other. It
Very.
was pretty cool.
It's awesome. I definitely I like the smaller con vibe too, compared to like Festival of Fear was in the middle of Comic Con. It was like so many people. So you didn't get that same community feeling as you did with Chris's one. And I would go to the other one I really love is Monster Bash, and that's was just outside of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And they would always have everyone from Night of the Living Dead, or like it would all be like 50s, 60s horror movie actors. It was like very vintage. So I always really liked that one because everyone was super friendly and same. Like we need those smaller conventions too. Like
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Well, Horror-rama was great, and it was fun accompanying Lisa. And every time I go to Toronto, I meet up with her. She got me very well educated and skilled on using the subways because we don't have subways here, except for the place that makes sandwiches. That's it.
I guess not. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. But she got me skilled on those, and she got me skilled on the street cars, and so yeah, and Lisa called me Saturday, and I asked her, I said, "Are you around that week? Do you know?" Of course, she doesn't know, but she said she'd be happy to to spend some time with me when I go up there. And I said to her, I said, "I got over 20 free movies, so when we get there, pick some movies."
Ready.
Yeah.
Did you go
So,
to the school out of class of
oh
19?
yeah,
Okay.
she and I rented a car,
Yeah.
and I forget where we went, but I know we went like she was pretty much my Toronto eyes. So we went to the aquarium and I treated her. And I know at one point we want to go to the zoo because she knows I'd like to see that. And Lisa is kind of my connection, so I loved spending time doing stuff like this with her. But I know one of the things that I wanted to do was see the class of 1984 locations, and we went to the school, and we there was a picture of the two of us in front of it,
Amazing.
and we found the house that Mary Lynn Ross was abducted out of. The house. Yeah, we
Yeah.
found that, which is interesting because you have for sale sign in front of it.
Wow. I'll just try that.
It's interesting because after I got home from Toronto, I called Mary Lynn Ross, who played Mrs. Norris, and because she's been on the show a couple times, and I said to her, I said, do you know your house is up for sale?
Funny.
Yeah, she got a laugh out of that. And so, and we did find the alley where Michael J. Fox and Aaron Noble was being bullied, but it was kind of closed off. And due to the traffic, we weren't going to, yeah. Yeah, I would never drive. I would never drive in Toronto because I remember outside Union Station, it was like the opening of Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. People just going everywhere, you know. I couldn't drive in it, but I love the subway experience.
It's amazing there. The transit's amazing. You don't really need to, except during COVID. It was amazing because I would go into Toronto and it would be so fast. No park, like no traffic, nothing. Nothing was open, mind you. But sometimes I'd have to go in to get supplies or whatever. And it was just like, wow, this is such a different experience. Like seeing that, you saw how buzzing and busy it was to nothing. Like streets empty and like tumbleweeds. Like, it was weird.
Like Night of the Comet.
Exactly. That I love that movie. I was actually talking about that movie yesterday. It was definitely like Night of the Comet.
I've interviewed a couple people from that movie. In fact, I got a signed Blu-ray of Chopping Mall from Kelly Maroney here.
Amazing.
Yeah, she I got there. She did that on her webpage, and there's she sent a picture to me of her holding the signed movie up. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
But
well, I'm surprised I'm on here. I really appreciate it because like I don't consider myself an actor. I'm just a weird horror fan that sometimes I'm in movies because I'm like a character around. So it's really cool that
I go where the story is, where I think there's a story.
Yeah, there's
yeah. I find it a little irritating. So many podcasters, they'll go after who they consider the big star catches, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I find, and it's always great to have, like I said, I had Nancy Allen the other day, and it took me a good 4 or 5 years to get her, and she finally got wind that I was looking for her, and I finally got her on. It's great, to have people like that on, but I find too a lot of the smaller name guests they appreciate it even more. You know, I always go where I think the story is. I had a guy message me on Facebook. I had no idea who he was, and he just asked me if I interview Aussie filmmakers from Australia.
Oh, I listened to this one, I think. Yeah, maybe.
Well,
did you put it up? No, maybe it was someone else I listened to.
But he his name was David Black. I'd never heard of him before, but I responded. I said, absolutely. Because who am I to say no? You know, it's like he's an Aussie filmmaker. I'll look up his IMDb. I'll check out the pictures. I'll see what we can do. We got on there. He's in Australia, so it was morning my time. It was night his time. And he said, we'll probably not get any more than an hour, you know. We talked for 2.5 hours. Wow. And he kind of chuckled about that afterwards. It's like, wow, I didn't expect this interview to go this long. And I didn't either, because I didn't know who this guy was. So you never know. And he appreciated it. So,
of course. Yeah, it's awesome to know that.
So you might be surprised I reach out to you, but really, you own a hearse, which we'll get to in a minute. And I saw Necropolis Legion. Like a lot of people wouldn't think they interview Ali Chappell. But Ali Chappell and I had a connection through Horror-rama. She's done these movies for Chris Alexander. Actually, I was trying to get Chris Alexander on here. And it tried to kind of hit me. I said, let's go with Ali Chappell.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And I love Allie Chappell.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. So I I go where I think the story is. And plus I miss Toronto so much.
You gotta come back.
Yeah. I was like, oh, here's somebody else I can interview from Toronto.
Oh yeah, get your connections going all through. Well, I'm in Hamilton, so the cool thing is right near in the falls, like I'm in between Niagara Falls and Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm exactly in the center. So I can go to either or, right?
Are you gonna be at Frightmare this year?
Oh yeah, if it's going, I am. That weekend, I believe, there's a little bar in Hamilton now. You'd love it. It's called People Under the Staircase. It's
Mm-hmm.
all horror themed. So they have B movie nights, and they have all the food and drink is like named after horror movies and that sort of thing. It's just this theater was going under, and three of the restaurants here decided to get together and like save it. And now it's a horror themed restaurant 3 blocks from my house. So I'm very happy with where I am, but they're having something that weekend too. So I've been like figuring out how to coordinate everything. It's so funny because we're talking like 2 months in advance, but it feels like the old days because I would have my whole Halloween weekend planned like, a year in advance.
By the way, I love your hair.
Thank you.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, I got the skunk thing going on. Double.
You know what? It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. When I went to Toronto for the first time in 2016, I was taking kind of a walk around the neighborhood I was in, and I saw what I thought was a skunk, and it turned out to be a black squirrel. I'd never seen a black squirrel. We got gray ones, we got red ones. We don't have black ones.
You
They're
don't have the
all
black one?
yeah, they're all over the place in Toronto.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard that the grays are taking over the black squirrels. So we still have some of the black squirrels, but eventually it will all be gray squirrels.
Wow, because I saw them all over the place.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
that and raccoons.
No,
Raccoons.
we've got raccoons. We got when I go take my garbage to the dumpster at my apartment, there's two raccoons out there that they'll
Yeah.
wait for me to get right up there, and then they scurry away until I throw my trash in, and I could hear them go back to the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I miss Toronto so much. This is something crazy I did. I sat here at my computer and I watched a YouTube video of about 20 minutes of the subways going.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They should have a channel for you on the TV. Like some people have a fireplace.
Oh
It would have like
yeah.
the subway.
I just miss the sounds of Toronto, and yeah. But I think with you, I need to find out how many different conventions have you gone to? Do you know?
That would be a lot because I've been to the Fangoria convention in Chicago. I've been to the giant New York horror convention, like the 3 floors. I forget what it's called.
Chiller?
Yeah, Chiller Theater. I completely forget that. And then I've been to one in Baltimore, Maryland. Like I used to, a long time ago, I worked writing for a magazine called 1313.
Did you see
So
John Waters there?
I did not see him there, but I did go to all the places out of his movies. And I met John Waters in Toronto. He was doing a book signing. And my one of the biggest moments of my life was going up, and he said he liked my style. So I was like, John Waters likes my style. Like, so it was good.
Yeah. Actually, I interviewed when people have passed away, I'll do tribute interviews, with somebody that's related. Like I've had Alfred Hitchcock's granddaughter on here. I've had Audrey Hepburn's eldest son on here, you know.
Mhm.
Well, I interviewed the son of Cookie Mueller. Cookie Mueller was in Pink Flamingos, the one assaulted with the
I know
chickens.
her.
Well, his son Max came on. Do you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Max Mueller, Cookie's son, was the baby sold to the lesbian couple in Pink Flamingos.
Really?
That was him, and he gets a chuckle out of that today.
I love that. Oh, I know who you mean now. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. That is like, wow.
Yeah,
Amazing. They had to
yeah.
get it somewhere, right?
Well, I had him on. We talked about her. He shared that story. I was like, that is so unbelievable that he's the baby in that scene.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Anyway, like I said, I did 3 Horror-ramas, 1 Comic Con. This is going to be my first Frightmare in the Falls. Have you done Frightmare before?
I did, but I think it was in June. Was it in June before?
I don't know.
Because it was in Niagara Falls. I get all the names mixed up. I've been to so many, but they had one in June in the falls, but it was part of a Comic Con.
Okay.
So I'm not even sure if it's the same people or not. So if that's not it, then no. But I'm definitely excited to any convention I will support that's in this area for sure. I mean, there's also Shock Stock in London, Ontario that
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I've been to like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, anything close. I've been to one in Buffalo, like that was random. I just had a friend that was going to be at it. So we just crossed the border for a day and we went. That's the great thing about being here. It's like you're so close to that US border. You can go to the Pittsburgh conventions and stuff like that.
So talk about some of the other celebrity guests you've met. Who made the biggest impressions on you besides George Romero? We know he did, and Barbara Steele.
Yeah, Herschel Gordon Lewis. I've met him twice.
Yeah, I have interviewed Genevieve Rossi, who I think was in his last movie.
Okay, he was amazing, and the one time he actually sang to me. Yeah, he was trying to sneak me into the Fangoria party, like that I didn't have the tickets for because they were like sold out. He tried to sneak me in, and he was like singing to me. So me and my friend always joke about that time. I could have run off with Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Did he successfully sneak you in?
No, he couldn't get me in. They still wouldn't let me in.
Are you kidding me? They wouldn't even listen to Herschel?
No, it was sold out. Sold out. So.
Oh.
He tried. It was nice of him. Who else? One of my favorite people in the whole world is Linnea Quigley.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came to the Toronto Zombie Walk. She was our grand marshal one year. So we had her there, and you know, I felt so bad for her because in October, usually the weather's okay in October, but that October was freezing.
You're warmer there than we are here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, she's from Florida. So, well, at the time she was in Florida. So she came and she was so cold. One of my friends knitted her like a shawl. So we had a shawl, but she was such a trooper. She stayed out all day and talked to all the zombies who wanted to talk to her. And she was just such a wonderful person that I've stayed in touch with her. Like we definitely, and also because I'm vegan as well. So I took her to a vegan food place and I had a special cake made for her, vegan chainsaw cake. And yeah, it was just, I felt really connected to her and she rescues animals and I've done a lot of rescue myself. So, yeah, we'll talk once in a while. So it's cool.
I met Linnea at the 2018 Horror-rama, and I had her on my show the following year on my birthday.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and she's going to be at Frightmare in the Falls.
Is she?
Yep, she's one of the people listed.
I remember she was going to be at the last one before it got like, didn't it get listed and then it got canceled before? I don't remember.
They've got 8 guests listed right now. I think the one I'm most excited about is Laura Vandervoort because, you know, she's really cute. But I'm going to get my Ted Blu-ray signed by her.
Nice.
Yeah. Linnea Quigley, I definitely will go see again. I've got a few things, including my Silent Night, Deadly Night Blu-ray signed by her.
Mm-hmm.
She was the antler victim. I was going to get Return of the Living. I wanted to get Return of the Living Dead Blu-ray signed. I don't have it, but it's awfully expensive online.
Oh, I'm sure it goes for a fortune.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I'm gonna go to her table again because I got a couple pictures signed by her, but it's hard for me to pick just one picture of her, you know.
There's so many good ones.
I got one of her from Night of the Demons with her in the pink dress and her ass sticking out there, and her looking over her shoulders, and I got one of her with a chainsaw from Chainsaw Hookers or whatever that was called. So I got that. Who else is going to be there? Lisa Loring, who played Wednesday Addams, just got announced, and I'm kind of like, yeah, kind of got to meet her. Ken Foree of Dawn of the Dead is going to be there. Never met him before. Michael Berryman, I've never met before. He's going to be there.
I met him. He's so sweet too. Like, he's a very nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mitch Markowitz from the hilarious House of Frankenstein is supposed to be there, and I grew up watching that show, so he's going to be there. Lou Ferrigno is supposed to be there of the Incredible Hulk fame, and Ken Kurtziger, who of course played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, and why they didn't have Kane Hodder back for that, I don't know, but nonetheless, those are the ones right now announced. I think there's still more to be announced, but I'm going to try to get Lisa in there for that. But I got somebody from that event supposed to come on next week, so
excellent.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to going to that. But those are the ones that are announced. Any of those in particular that stand out to you? You want to go meet?
You know what? I'll just probably go for the fun. If you say Linnea Quigley is going to be there, I am. I'm there just to see her again and get another signature. So, I guess my childhood self would like to meet Lou Ferrigno really bad. Like, I was such a huge fan of the Hulk when I was a kid. So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it sounds wonderful. For me, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up because I know it, like, let's fingers crossed, severed fingers crossed, arms, toes, all the body parts crossed that this goes through. It's just my brain isn't at the point yet that I believe that there's going to be another convention. Like, really? I want there to be. I'm where I am. You're still, like, we had a horror trivia night and we had to wear masks and they only had 10 tables because everything is spread out in the place. And then our numbers are just going up and up and up and up. And although I really want to stay positive about everything, a lot of people aren't getting vaccinated. And
I don't understand that. Are you fully vaccinated?
Yeah, right away. I could, yeah.
I'm fully vaccinated. I got my second vaccine. I got on the 5th of July. That was a busy day for me because that was the day I had to go get my new car as well. So I didn't have time to be sick.
No,
I
for
was
sure.
doing everything that day, but it turned out I only had a sore arm. That was it. I
Good for
worked
you.
through the whole thing. But I know the folks at Blood Opera and my supervisor, they made the mistake of announcing on Facebook that they were under the weather, and boy, did I rip them for it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I a little bit. You could feel. I can actually still kind of feel where I got the shot, but it's
Not
just like
me. Did you get wrist recently?
no. It was at the beginning of July,
Oh, same here. No, I don't feel nothing.
but that's it. Like I didn't get sick or anything, and I'm just nervous with everything. I just I also do not want to get my hopes up. I'm one of those people like I'm an actually a really positive person, but I just cannot afford right now to get my hopes up because there's been so many things like I play theremin. I got invited to play Tiki Oasis in San Diego last year. And then because of COVID, it had to get canceled. And then I was going to do it this year again and still know it's not able to happen. So
Well,
I'm
the
kind of,
only the only reason Horror-rama get canceled for October 2nd and 3rd because I just don't have time to book people. That's the only reason that didn't go through. They are doing some kind of flea market event sometime in this
yes,
month, you know.
yes, that's in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go to that definitely. And
Yeah.
I'm going to have as much fun as I can. Like I have a show this Friday coming up and I'm
Hmm.
excited. So I'm going to do as much stuff as I can in the summer because I don't know about the fall yet.
Yeah. See, I don't understand where you because here, like I said, we've got the jump on it. We did have a few, we've had some deaths here for it and whatnot, but I find if you get vaccinated, I think you're in a better position. It's these,
Oh, yeah, for
you
sure.
get these people, anti-vaxxers, or the government's trying to control. I wish these people would take the conspiracy theories and shove them up their ass. I don't.
Me too. It's not helping anyone, like making them paranoid. It's not like,
Well, I'm not afraid to go to the movie theater. I've been
no,
going since a year ago, July. But here's the thing with me is that I probably wouldn't have got vaccinated either because I'm not working around people. Like I usually work at nights when
right.
there's nobody around, so I can just clean. But um, I probably wouldn't have got vaccinated either because I haven't seen anything COVID related around me. I know nobody that's had it or anything like that. But I got vaccinated so I could go to Toronto this fall. So I did it all
Exactly.
for you
Well,
guys. Huh?
yeah.
Come on,
Well, thank you.
blush. Say yeah, blush.
Thank
Come on.
you.
Turn all pink for me.
Yeah.
Girl, come on. Let's get some color on your face to match the black
Oh,
and
that
white.
won't happen. I'm half dead.
Come
So
on. No, you're not gonna be dead anymore. You just found out I got vaccinated for you guys, so now you're coming to life. You're like the guys from Pleasantville that went from black and white to color with
there
emotion.
you go. Magic.
Here you
Now, if
go.
everyone would get vaccinated for us, I would be happy.
So I did it for you guys, and Lisa told me she's been vaccinated, so she's happy to connect with me when I go down there. So I just went and did it. And then I went to work or whatever I had to do. It was just kind of like, yeah, I got to stop, do this, on to the next thing. I was worried about that second one, whether I was going to get sick from it, but no, no.
Right.
A lot of people, I know my supervisor was under the weather from it, and so was the folks from Blood Opera. They were. I left them about 12 ribbing messages about that.
Nice.
Yeah, they should not have announced that on Facebook for B to C.
No.
Yeah, but nonetheless, how did you get involved in horror? Was it something you kind of grew up with?
Yeah, I've had the bug since I was a kid. Like basically, I remember seeing when I was like 11 or 12, I saw Night of the Living Dead, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. Like, I always liked the monsters because I always felt like they were kind of the misunderstood, the loners, and they were just kind of against society. I thought they were very cool, and I already had this sense of rebellion in me. I don't know. And then I saw zombies, and I was like, whoa, they're all different. They're all rebellious, but they're all working together for like a common cause. And that's got me into punk rock. That got me into horror, everything. But yeah, definitely Night of the Living Dead changed my life for sure.
Yeah. Do you ever met Judith O'Dea from that movie?
I did not meet Judith O'Dea. That's probably one of the only people I didn't meet. So
Yeah, I had her on here from that movie, and she was wonderful. It's interesting because growing up, I was petrified of horror films. And there used to be, my cousins would come over Friday nights, and there would be a horror movie on every Friday night. And I've come to know what a few of those were. Salem's Lot played one Friday night. So did Horror High, and so did Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. And
I love that movie. I love that movie so much.
I had a hard time sleeping at nights, and I would always sit there and watch because I'm one of these people, and I'm still like this today. I like to see good over evil, Like I hear people talk about The Mist and how cool the ending was. I hated The Mist because of the ending.
Oh, it's so sad.
I hated that. I hated the ending of that movie. Like, if you're going to do that, do it a little while prior to that. You don't do that and then have the solution automatically. Like, I thought The Mist was a piece of shit. Sorry, it's a piece of shit because of the ending, But I'm one of these old-fashioned people. I like to see good over evil because it's hopeful. It's reassuring, And I remember my cousins baited me. This is when I was over at their place. They baited me into watching Friday the 13th Part 2. And I watched it like this, And I hate it when the women got alone because men were always viewed as stronger. Of course, now when you've got your Sigourney Weavers and Linda Hamiltons, and I guess women are stronger now, but back then. But Friday the 13th Part 2, I remember it became the first time I'd seen a naked woman was when Kirsten Baker goes through the.
Where is it?
That was the first time. And after 3 deaths in the film, that was where Mom came in and turned the television off.
Yeah, me, it's just like, I'm like, was anyone supervising like some of these movies I saw? I remember seeing also what terrified me when I was a kid that I saw was The Changeling.
Oh, love it.
I love it. I love it. Of course, I watched it years later. Having this movie was so terrifying in my head, and I was like, really? But I see it. It's spooky, right? But when you see it when you're like really young, like 7 or 8 or whatever, it's quite scary. So.
Well, I remember later on my cousins managed to sneak the VHS in, and we watched the rest of Friday the 13th Part 2. And I didn't want to watch it, but in the back of my mind was like, I gotta see this bag-headed killer get what's coming to him.
Right.
Well, I didn't get my wish. No. I remember going home in the car, and all I kept thinking was, is Jason still out there? This guy with the sack.
Yeah.
Oh, that bothered me. But what happened? My older brother talked me into watching Friday the 13th, the final chapter, because he said Jason dies in this one. Well, to a certain degree. And I watched it. I watched it a little bit behind web fingers, but I kind of was okay with it. And I consider the final chapter probably the scariest of the bunch. And Ted White was my favorite Jason out of the bunch. And from there, it was kind of like, okay, let's ease into this a little more. Let's go back and watch part 2. Let's watch part 3. I didn't see part 1 till I was in high school, or no, junior high, excuse me. So I did not know that Mrs. Voorhees was the original killer. So, and then it went from there. And of course, I got the bug on Class of 1984, which I loved. One argument my older brother always made, and it makes sense. He said, if you can watch, and I was a big Conan the Barbarian fan. I loved Conan the Barbarian, still do. But he said, look at all the blood and gore in that, and you can watch that, but you can't watch a Friday the 13th. And my big thing was, yeah, but Jason's not fighting Conan. He's fighting Jenny Field.
Yeah. Different. Yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I kind of got the bug on them, and now I got like the Friday box set. Actually, I should show you something. Speaking of which, you might find this fun. I'll show this to you. Got a little something here, little memorabilia. Speaking of
oh my goodness.
Signed by Ted White.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's been on the show a couple times. I think he's now 95. But I gotta tell you, what a guy to interview. That guy had stories.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I got that signed Hawk.
Cool.
And something else for you to look out for. 13 Fanboy.
Oh, there you go. I'll be checking it out for sure.
I'm a co-producer on that.
Nice.
Now, what that is, I think you know that the Friday the 13th franchise is going through a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Debbie Sue Voorhees, who was in part 5 as the hedge clipper victim, she is doing this movie 13 Fanboy, which is about a crazed fan going after alumni from the franchise. And she's got a bunch of the alumni in this film, including one non-alumni, which is Dee Wallace. But she's got Corey Feldman in this. She's got Kane Hodder's in this. And one of the big reasons I got involved with it, because Tracy Savage is in it. Yep. So not only am I a co-producer, but my picture's going to be in a scene with Tracy Savage, which is going to be nice. So it's supposed to be released on October 22nd, I've been told. So I'm quite excited about that. So I'd love to go promote it at Frightmare, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But nonetheless, we got to talk about Chris Alexander and Necropolis Legion.
Yeah, we should, because I have to go pick up t-shirts soon. So.
Well, they can wait. T-shirts for what?
For my band. I said I'd go pick them up because everyone else is working. So.
Oh, jeepers.
I've seen all these text messages along my top of my.
Oh, tell them to stop putting it all on you.
Stop I like the way you think.
Yeah, that's right. Stop putting it all on you, you know?
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, you got your little hearse in this movie. Talk about the hearse.
Okay, the hearse is a 1954 Pontiac.
Uh-huh.
And I found this hearse years ago when I was in university. It was
Mm-hmm.
like in this parking lot. It was all like so much dust on it. Like I would say 20 years of dust, like under a maple tree. So it had all this like syrupy stuff on it. Like it was creepy looking, but I loved it then. So I tracked down the owner, and it took me a year to track down the owner. I put notes. I went to the office by this parking lot. I finally found out who owned it. I wrote him. And I guess what happened is dad had bought this hearse, transported it from Mississippi, and then he was getting work on it. Then he died. So he didn't know his father had this car. And then when his father died, he found out his dad had this hearse. Like he was like, why? My father was like very normal, and like he thinks it might have been like a business scheme or something he had. Anyway, so it's all old, it's all 50s, and he eventually just phoned me. He didn't want to sell it because it was his dad's, and he was just like, you can have it for $1,000. So I was like, that's a steal. And then over the years, I've just been getting it. Well, first was getting it to run, and now I've got an actual. It used to be a straight 8 engine, and now I've got a V8 engine in it. Now it's automatic with power steering, power brakes. It's pretty swing, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful car, and I know in the original Necropolis Legion, I guess she drove a motorbike or something. So it was strange they used the hearse, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like that hearse slug got to be like the car of the story.
Well, I met Lynn Laurie at Horror-rama 2018, and I became her first podcast this year. I got
Wow.
her on here. Yeah, I always loved Lynn, and I got several Blu-rays signed by her because she was doing this thing on Facebook where she was offering signed Blu-rays, pictures, and posters all signed in this package deal that she was doing. And I was like, nice. I got to get in on this. And so she came on my show. And of course, you're my third from this movie because I had Allie Chappell on. She was on here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
She was chatting with me, and she sent me this, and she got it all signed here. There she is. Talk about working with Allie.
She's just amazing. When I was there, I didn't work with her very much because I was only on set for 1 or 2 days with a hearse. And of course, I only have one little spot in the bookstore. I come and get my book signed. And but she was very like energetic and fun and full of life. Like I was instantly like just like attracted to her personality. She's very, very cool. And you can see like when somebody has a lot of potential, like I don't know. I think she's gonna be a big star. I really do.
Did you meet Lynn Laurie there? You were in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I met Lynn Laurie. I was so happy. I got a picture of her with Ursula, my car. And she was so kind. Like she talked for a long time. Like she was definitely around and able to talk to her. And yeah, she was on the set the same day as I was.
I'm trying to think the name of the okay, Augie Duke. Talk about her.
She was fun too. She was great fun. Yeah, she was just fun to watch because just a true professional and just really fun. I don't know what she really thought about the car because it was really hot. And my car, if it's hot out, it's like sweltering in there. So I think it was like they cut out a lot of the car scenes just because in there, when you get in the car, it's like this wall of heat. So, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, no, I enjoyed this movie, and of course, you're also going to be in The Girl with the Straight Razor.
Yeah, and that was when Chris asked me to do this role. I couldn't say no because it's Lady Death, and always do this act where I play like death. Like I have the skeleton face and I have a big veil and I do a big Victorian gown and I play my theremin. And so I do these shows. So to be Lady Death, I'm like, that's me. Like I am totally into being Lady Death anytime. So it's a really cool movie. Have you seen it yet? Or
No. Is it out yet?
No, it's not officially out till October, but I didn't know. But it's very, because he had a limited cast, so it's just me, Allie, and Chris who made it. It's just basically, it's very moody. Like he really plays up that Neo Giallo feeling with like just these long drawn out shots and the moodiness of it. I think it's a beautiful film. Like I really, it's very psychological. Like I was surprised, like it turned out so well because like sometimes you can't vision it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I see what Chris was thinking. Like I was like, how is he gonna pull this off with like just me and Allie?
Yeah. Your sound is kind of speaker sounding right now.
Is it? I don't know why.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe if I just move in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how he just, so it's just you and Allie in this movie?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh wow. Okay. Talk about work. Huh?
Yeah, it was extreme restrictions, so everything was shut down when he made that one. So he just did it himself with a camera and us, and that's it.
Talk about working with Chris Alexander on a couple movies.
He's brilliant. It's funny because he just knows exactly what he wants and he goes for it. And I'm always like, how is that even going to work? But then I see the end product and I'm like, wow. Thing is, Chris has been a really big supporter of the Toronto Zombie Watch for me. Like he ran like when we didn't have the money to run, like he had a fundraiser for us and everything. So I've just always really respected him, and I'm glad that we can work together professionally as well. But he has this vision that I can never see it. And even when I read the script, I can't see it. But when I see everything come together, it's like magic. I was also in Blood for Irina, like his movie, but I'm just a tiny part. Like it's basically, I'm like a chauffeur. Like I drive up in this really, I'm always like the driver. I drive up in this really, like this hot rod car, and I open the door for the vampire. And so I've had these little bit parts in his films. So it's cool. Like I like that he uses the same people.
Between him and Louis Serraz from Suspect Video, what do you think? Who do you think has the most hair under those hats?
Definitely Chris.
Yeah? I don't know. I've had Louis on here a couple times, but Chris gave me his email address and he hasn't responded to me yet. And I'm like, Chris, you're getting some free advertisement on here. Get your ass on the show.
He hasn't been on yet.
No, although I like I said, I was so happy to get Allie, and I gotta say Allie's easy on the eyes, so that's good for for Zoom. Yeah. I bought some Halloween teas from her when she worked at the refreshment area down Horror-rama. Right. So I remembered her at that. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing the girl with the straight razor and seeing you and Allie in that. So I heard that his movie Space Vampire is supposed to get a Blu-ray release, and I'm like, yeah, if I get it on Blu-ray, I'll get Allie to sign it. I wonder, do you think Chris and Allie's going to be at Frightmare?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
probably.
Perfect.
How would they? Yeah, they have. I don't know. Yeah. I'm supposed to be playing with a show with Chris with his music project too on October 16th at the Staircase. So hopefully that will go through too.
Well, I've come to connect with a few of you, you know. I guess you're familiar with Blood Opera.
Yes, I love them.
I've had them on here a couple times and still in touch with them. I leave them a lot of voice messages and Max always gets back to me and so I love them and I've helped them get some guests for some of their live streams, which they really appreciated. You
Mhm.
know, yeah. Um, also, Creepy Ghoul. Are you familiar with him?
No.
Creepy Ghoul Ferris. He does Creepy Ghoul Vision. He does the walk around videos for Horror-rama. He
Okay.
actually caught about a 2-second glimpse of me in his 2018 one. I had him on here this year, and I think he's going to go to Frightmare. And I can't think of who else. Hopefully, Louis Therese will be there, and I can scold everybody for no Horror-rama.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you have any charities that you're involved with that you want to plug on here?
Charities. Not right now. I am, as I said, I'm a vegan and that sort of thing. So everything I support is animal rescue. So there's like Pride Rescue in Hamilton, as I actually had a show last Halloween that I did, and all the money went to Pride Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an urban wildlife rescue here that I try to support. Since the pandemic, things have changed though, and there is an immigrant work coalition here. So it's like the immigrants who have come from Mexico to work in Ontario. Of course, COVID went around very bad on the farms. So it's like a group that works to improve the conditions for immigrant workers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one charity that I do give to. So yeah, there's so much, it's really hard right now. I try and do the food banks in my area as well, because a lot of people are out of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, and I just try and like give where I can. So.
Do you have a website that you want to plug on here?
Yeah, I'd like to plug my own band, Night Chill.
Okay.
We're like a horror band, and we play like, it's like instrumental horror, but it's more on the rocks. I call it crypt rock. So it's like,
What's it called again?
it's called Night Chill.
Night Chill. Have you guys
Yeah.
performed with Blood Opera before?
Yeah, we have. We performed on their show before.
Oh,
So
wow. Do you have
yeah.
music on YouTube?
Yes, we have some on YouTube. Bandcamp, if you go to Bandcamp,
Mm-hmm.
nightchill.bandcamp.com, all of our tracks are free. Like we just give like if you want to give a donation, fine, but we just give away our stuff. And also on Instagram, we have a lot of.
I need to listen to your stuff.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
spooky. It's
Yeah.
definitely spooky. I think you'll like it. I feel like we're all really influenced by horror movies,
Mm-hmm.
and that it definitely comes through, but it's not, maybe not as obvious as Blood Opera, because we're a bit more because we're instrumental.
Okay.
So it's more like but like surf, but also like horror movie soundtracks sounding.
So you don't sing?
No, I play the theremin. That's all I do.
Oh, come on, sing.
No, I'm not.
Sing.
It would be terrible.
Sing for us.
Oh, that's terrible.
You could sing. You could do like the Pied Piper thing when you do your zombie walk.
Oh, I always think of the theremin as my voice, because it's like, that's how I communicate through music. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm so happy to have you on here today. And and talk to you. And next year, you know, when Girl in the Straight Razor is out and done, I'd love to have you back. And I hope to see you at Frightmare in the Falls. I'm hoping everything goes and everything's fine. I'm in a different world here because I wouldn't say we're totally out of it, but we are in the green. So, yeah. So we got in the green on July 31st. So I was happy to get that. And I know you got a lot of collectibles in there. Is there anything special you got there that's dear to
I have
you?
so many. Do you want me to go bring the camera over there?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go take a look.
Let's see what you have here. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're a little crazy here.
Oh, wow.
We are definitely into.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that Elvira is signed, but I didn't get to meet her. That was somebody else. And there's my Linnea. She signed my Return of the Living Dead VHS.
Oh, wow.
And there's my Romero signature on my Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing too that's pricey is Dawn of the Dead, because I wouldn't mind getting Ken Faree to sign that. Yeah.
That would be amazing. So yeah, lots of monsters.
Yeah, you go by.
Lots of Hilarious has Frankenstein stuff.
Yeah, you go by Thea Munster. Now, what's where did you come up with Munster? You're a big Munsters fan?
Well, the truth is, I am like I do love the monsters for sure, but these ones are more modern ones. There you go. There's your Freddy's and that stuff. But the thing was, that was just my nickname when I was a kid, because I would always wear like these 50s dresses. But then I would have like crazy like horror hair or makeup. And like back in that day, that wasn't like a common thing. Like I would hang out with the punk rockers, but I would wear these 50s, sort of 60s dresses and then have big hair like horror. Mm-hmm. So I kind of look like Lily Munster, but in vintage dresses. So they just kept calling me Munster, and it just stuck. So it was just a nickname that stuck, and I've actually tried to get rid of it, but it just keeps coming back. Not tried to get rid of it, but like just call me by like my real last name now, or my band last name. But nope, Munster always comes back.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, I guess it still suits me, you know, I think so. It's fine.
Now, when you're in the credits, I didn't even notice on your credits that you're by Munster in this.
Yeah, that's
there you go.
Most people know me. It's so funny because when I changed to my real last name, which is Falls, people can't find me. Like they just can't find me. Like they know me as Thea Munster. And the years running the zombie walk, I was always Thea Munster. So I've been in the paper probably about 50 times as Thea Munster. So I can't change now. There's no going back.
There you go. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you've got t-shirts to pick up because the rest of your band had to work today. They just had to work.
I know. Like, why work? That's lame.
Yeah, why work? Why work? Like, I don't have to do that for a few hours.
Yeah, we're just you know, it's the week of the show. They should all take the whole week off. We should be practicing all the time.
That's right. I think so. Right. Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? I was happy to have you on here today, and love to have you back sometime in the future. But I hope to see you at Frightmare in the Falls and maybe a future Horror-rama. I'm so happy to make another interview out of Toronto, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to meet you. So definitely let me know if you're going to come, because I'll make sure I'm at Frightmare on the day that you're there.
Actually, I'm going to get a VIP, so I should be there both days. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the plan. And if hopefully everything goes well, I'll be there. I know Blood Opera said they're supposed to drive a hearse into the Scotia Bank Center. So
Ooh, they're gonna bring their hearse. That's awesome.
yeah. So they're looking forward to partying with me. I don't know how much of a partier I am, but about the best I come with drinks is blood. The blood.
Blood. I
Not
like this
blood.
drink. Tell me more.
White Russians from the Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Blood.
totally.
I think a blood opera, but yeah,
It could be a drink. Blood opera could be a drink.
yeah. There you go. I'll talk to them about that. See what they
Yeah.
can mix up. Well, check out 13 Fanboy on October 22nd. Hopefully,
I know.
if we don't get it here, maybe it'll be in Toronto. Because I love the theaters in Toronto, especially places like the Royal.
Oh, it's awesome.
I've had some great theater experiences in Toronto. So maybe.
Have
But anyway,
you been to Blood in the Snow? Sorry.
no.
That was a film festival in Toronto, like for horror.
Yeah, Lisa suggested that to me, but no, I never got there for that.
But
But I
definitely
did,
maybe submit the film to that for sure.
yeah. But I did go to a lot of movies, and like I saw my first IMAX in Toronto, which was Apocalypse Now. Great movie.
Wow. On
Yeah,
IMAX would be awesome.
yeah. Lisa and I went and saw Jojo Rabbit. And that's the first time I had wine at a theater.
Where was that? Royal or
I don't remember, but it was kind of cool getting little things of wine in a little plastic cup.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, we went to we saw Christmas Vacation in a theater that had recliner seats, which was
Oh,
kind
I
of
love
cool.
the greener ones.
Yeah, and I went to one night a double screening of White Christmas and Black Christmas, and
That's hilarious.
I called Lisa to see if she wanted to join me. She
What a
wasn't.
great combo.
Yeah, she wasn't up for White Christmas, but she said she'd meet me for Black
For black.
Christmas. Yeah. Well, she knew a lot of people in it. So,
Yeah,
and White Christmas had a good attendance, but Black Christmas was packed.
right.
And I remember Lisa coming out there saying, gee, I wonder if Art Hindle still has that coat. And apparently he does, because she said she called him, and yeah, he still has it.
That's
But,
amazing.
and Blood Opera, speaking of which, I went to when they're down at the Rogue performing at the Jason Lives screening.
Right.
And I was at that. In fact, I put a message thing on Facebook saying I was at that. And I remember the following night, I went to a Christmas party with Lisa, and my phone rang, and it was Nancy McLaughlin. And I said to Nancy, I said, I was watching you last night. And she says, I know, I saw the Facebook post.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I had some great theater experiences. And of course, Blood Opera performed at Demons 1 and 2 for the after party. Yeah.
Right.
Except it was snowstorming that night. And because Horror-rama went later at the end of November. And a lot of people didn't show up. I remember Max came up and he just thanked Lisa and I for showing up, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Well, you know what? I appreciate having you on here today. And
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
I dig your hair. I love your hair. I hope you have your hair when you're in Frightmare. I got to get a picture with you.
I will. It'll
Yeah.
be even more dramatic.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. If I go out, it's going to be dramatic.
Let me guess. You're going to have a big pink bow in your hair, right?
Oh. No, but now that you say it, I might just to shock people. They would not expect it at all, unless it was made out of like guts or something. I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that works.
There you go. Well, I'll be looking out for you there. I'll let you know if I'm going to be there. I should be there. So, but
Okay.
I got somebody from there coming on next week, so I'm going to see what I can get worked out. And because I ordered my ticket, but I can't seem to figure out where my ticket is.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been having so many of those problems lately.
well, I went on there to order my ticket, and I had to sign in, so I had to do an account for that. And I did that as I was ordering the ticket. So I'm like, I got a message saying I'm signed up, but what about my ticket? I filled out everything for it. I made the purchase. So I need to find out what's up with that so I can make my flight arrangements and stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure it's all good.
Hopefully. Well, I bid you a good day. I go get your shirts. I think my last thing I'm going to ask you before I let you go is do a plug for my show.
Okay.
Just,
so what's the
just
Greg?
state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
I'm Thea Munster, and you are listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's. Wait, what was it?
Python's Paradise.
Paradise. Why did I want to say Playhouse?
Are you kidding me? This is not Paul Rubens.
All right. I'm Thea Munster, and you're watching Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Absolutely. And we will see you, knock on wood, at Frightmare in the Falls on October 29th and 30th. You go be there both days?
That's what I got to figure out right now. So
I think I'm going to try to do both days. Why not? I'm going to take a week off, go to Toronto. It's been 2 years. I need this.
Yeah, enjoy.
I will, and I look forward to meeting you.
Definitely. I look forward to it too. Thank you.
Absolutely. You take care. God bless, and have a wonderful day. And go get those shirts. The band's waiting.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.